Hello class, let's look at how to do unit conversions using dimensional analysis. An easy way to approach dimensional analysis is through your knowledge on multiplications of fractions. Let's look at an example. You are going to multiply these two fractions and you know when you have equal numbers in numerator and denominator you can cancel them out. Same goes with the units. In this example, you can see the inches in denominator to inches in numerator cancels out. You can see some of the common conversion factors here. You might be familiar with some of these. Let's look at how to use those conversion factors in dimensional analysis. There are two ways to write down the relationship between units in fractions. Example 1. 1 nanogram equals to 10 to the minus 9 of grams. You can produce two fractions where you can have grams in your numerator and nanograms in your denominator. Or you can have nanograms in your numerator and grams in your denominator. Next, we write down the numbers associated with them. 10 to the minus 9 is associated with grams. So we are going to write 10 to the minus 9 and 1 is associated with nanograms. So this is how we produce two fractions. Let's go to example 2. 1 pint is equal to 473.2 milliliters. So as we saw in the first example, we are going to do the second example. Either you can write pint over milliliter or milliliter over pint. And then you are going to write the numbers associated with the units. Third example. 1 mole is equal to 6.023 times 10 to the 23 atoms. So you can write this as two fractions. First one is your atoms in your numerator and the moles in your denominator. And the next one is mole in your numerator and atoms in your denominator. And next we are going to write the numbers associated with them. Fourth example. So molar mass of sodium chloride is 58.44 grams per mole. So you need to pay attention to the unit. So this says grams per mole. That means 1 mole of sodium chloride weighs this much of grams. So we can write down the two fractions as moles over grams or grams over moles. Let's do this question. If you drive 45 miles per hour, how many hours will it take to drive 90 miles? You need to identify three things here. Number one, the unit of the final answer. It's written here. How many hours? So the final answer should have hours as unit. And the subject of the question. Here's your subject of the question. In other words, this is your starting point. And then you have to identify the relationship of the units. So it is given here, 45 miles per hour. So we are going to write down the relationship in two fractions. Either you can write miles in numerator and hours in denominator, or you can put hours in numerator and miles in denominator. So we are going to solve this question and the starting point is this. So you are going to write down 90 miles and then you are going to use a fraction. You are going to choose one of these fractions. So when you choose the fraction, just make sure that your miles cancels out to miles. That means you are going to choose this fraction and then you can see your miles in the numerator cancels out to miles in the denominator and you are going to end up with hours, which is the one you needed in your final answer. So here are two things to remember. The number with units of your final answer should go in the numerator. The number with units you need to cancel out should go to denominator. What is 45.0 pounds in units of grams? So first we are going to identify the units of final answer, and it should be in grams. Then you are going to identify the subject of your question, which is 45 pounds, and it is going to be your starting point. This is the relationship of the units. So we are going to write two fractions. So you can write grams in numerator and pounds in denominator, or pounds in numerator and grams in denominator. Then you are going to write the numbers associated with the units. So we are going to choose one of these fractions to our calculation. This is your initial point. You are going to write 45 pounds and find your fraction which has grams in numerator and pounds in denominator, so that you can see pounds and pounds cancels out. Convert 250 millimeters to micrometers. So you need to find in this question a connection between units, millimeters and micrometers, and the connection between the units is meters. So we are going to write down two information here. 1 millimeter is equal to 10 to the minus 3 meters, and 1 micrometer equals to 10 to the minus 6 meters. Now we are going to use this information and going to do this in two steps. First, we are going to get rid of millimeters, and here's your starting point, 250 millimeters, and your final answer should be in micrometers. So we have to get rid of millimeters. How do we get rid of millimeters? Is we are going to use this connection, and in such a way your millimeters in numerator cancels out to the millimeters in the denominator. So in this part, millimeters cancel out, you end up with meters, but your answer should be in micrometers. Okay, so we are going to do it another step where you have meters in denominator and micrometers in numerator. So you can see meters and meters cancel out, and you are going to end up with micrometer answer. So remember, we did two things here. First, we got rid of millimeters and make it to meters, and in the second step we converted meters to micrometers. Convert 10 pounds per square inch to grams per square centimeters. Here you have to convert two units. First one, pounds to grams. Second one, inches to centimeters. First we are going to take this starting point and write down two fractions. You can write pounds in numerator and inch square in denominator, or you can write square inch in numerator and pounds in denominator. Next we are going to convert pounds to grams. So this is the relationship of units we are going to use. 1 pound equals to 453.6 grams. Next we are going to convert inches to centimeters, and this is the relationship of units you are going to use. 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. However, if you look at the units, those are squared. So we are going to square this relationship. Now let's start converting pounds to grams. We start with the relationship, and then we are going to write down the fraction we have pounds in the denominator and the grams in numerator. You can see pounds and pounds cancel out. In the next step, we are going to use this relationship in such a way. Now you have a square inch here and it will cancel out to the square inch in the numerator. So what we are going to end up with grams and square centimeter. Scientists have recently announced an updated brand new conversion between inches and centimeters. It turns out that 1 inch is actually equal to 4.562 centimeters. Using the new conversion factor, convert 200 inches to meters. So you have your relationship of the units and you have your subject and you have your units of final answer. So let's write down the facts that are given. 1 inch is equals to 4.562 centimeters and we know 100 centimeters equal to 1 meter because we have to find a connection between centimeters and meters as they ask the final answer in meters. So let's start with your subject of the question, 200 inches, and you are going to write this fraction in such a way that inches and inches cancel out and we are going to end up with centimeters. So in the next step, we are going to write this information in a fraction in such a way centimeters and centimeter cancels out and we are going to end up in meters. A kilogram of apples costs 2.15 euros. Given the exchange rate of 1 euro equals $1.18, how many pounds of apples can you buy with $10? So your final answer is going to be in pounds and your subject is $10. And the information given are 1 kilogram worth 2.15 euros and the 1 kilogram equals to 2.2 pounds and this is also given 1 euro equals to $1.18. So we are going to use these connections to solve this question. First start with your starting point $10 and we are going to write down this information in a fraction in such a way that dollars cancel out to dollars and we are going to end up with euros. So now we have to convert this to kilograms. So we have another information here, 1 kilogram equals to 2.15 euros. So we are going to write a fraction that has euros in the denominator and kilograms in numerator. You can see euros and euros cancel out. Now we have just one step left where you have to convert kilograms to pounds. To that we are going to use this connection and we are going to write the fraction where you have kilograms in your denominator and pounds in numerator. You see kilograms to kilograms cancels out. Complete the following. Question A, 48.5 inches times, you have to figure out what should be in numerator and denominator and your final answer should be in centimeter. So we have to find a relationship between these two units. Here's the relationship of the units you are going to use. 1 inch equals to 2.54 centimeters. So we are going to start with 48.5 inches and then we are going to write this information in a fraction where you have inches in the denominator so that they can cancel out. So your answer should be in centimeters. Example B. So you have 102 nanoliters and you need to figure out this fraction and this fraction as well. And your final answer should be in milliliters. So we have to find out relationships between nanoliter and liters as well as milliliters and liters. So these are the information you are going to use. 1 nanoliter equals 10 to the minus 9 liters. 1 milliliter equals 10 to the minus 3 of liters. So we start with 102 nanoliters and we are going to use the first information in a fraction in such a way that we can cancel out our nanoliters to nanoliters and we are going to end up with liters. So next we are going to use this information in a fraction in such a way we cancel out liters and liters and then we are going to end up with milliliters. Thank you very much. Please let me know if you have more questions.